At times because these hogs can be vicious and they attack.
These are the top tusks and these are the bottom tusks.
And those tusks are razor sharp. Cajun Bob Thornberry says this was a hog he shot between the eyes. He's hunted feral hogs for years and has some scary stories himself. Wild hogs have chased Thornberry up a tree. He's seen them be vicious and angry.
Once they get you on the ground, then they can do what they want to with you.
Is that where they attack your legs?
Yeah, they attack the legs.
On Sunday, Christine Rollins was attacked and killed by wild hogs outside the home of an elderly couple she cared for. While extremely rare, cases like this have been reported before. Thornberry says if you see wild hogs, do not approach them.
Hello, good people. It's Rob Lee. So as we see things unfolding, we see wild pigs and dogs everywhere. And what we have in the United States is an invasion of wild pigs. They're everywhere. From Texas to Minnesota, California, Virginia, wild pigs are everywhere. And another thing that we're seeing among the wild pigs is the lies are growing more constant and they're growing bigger. They're becoming outrageous. War is before us. Wild pigs and dogs, that's what we're talking about. The United States government, corporations, media, and many people who support the evil in this nation are complicit and guilty of the murders taking place in the Middle East and frankly, all over this earth. There is no more evil nation right now than the United States and Israel, and they are joined at the hip. Imagine this. Imagine everybody where you live in the surrounding area for 50 miles has been bombed, no food, no water, and they're told to get up and go. Wherever you go is wherever you go. 800 to 1 million homeless Palestinians have fled, but where did they flee to? They have no place to go. There's only one place for them to flee to, the Sinai Desert. The Israelis have taken control of the Egyptian border, and the Egyptians weren't going to let them in anyway because, quite frankly, they can't afford them. There's hardly a trickle of aid getting to them. Israel just doesn't want Gaza, they want the West Bank too. And I want you to think about something, and I'm going to tell you why. Why would the state of Israel want this little bitty piece of land? I mean, what's so special about it? Some people say it's about money. Ain't got nothing to do with money. Nothing. The entire media is in unison backing the synagogue of Satan as it continues to slaughter children and women. So I'm going to ask you again. Why would Israel, the state of Israel, need a tiny piece of land called Gaza and the West Bank? What makes it so appealing that it's worth killing for? Now again, some people are going to say it's about money, it's about gas, it's about oil, it's about the Silk Road, it's about this road. I'm telling you, you're wrong. It's about Jesus and the finale to this earth. Because what's in Gaza, the West Bank? Well, let's talk about this. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. He was raised in Nazareth of Galilee. He was murdered by the Jews in Jerusalem. Now, if you can't put all this together, maybe it's not time for you to put it together. Life is about Jesus, not the state of Israel. Not Google, not presidents, not popes, not churches, not your pastor, not your priest, not your professor. It's about Jesus. We have people that believe that the likes of Benjamin Netanyahu are actually God's chosen. They believe it. They actually go into buildings and wave a flag that is what God called the mark of the devil. I have much anger for the people who support, worship, and call an evil people God's chosen. This is the United States of America. It's the summer of 2024, and this world is filled with evil and those who lie and make lies. There is a storm coming. A few can see it. A few will be ready. A few understand what this storm is and who's driving it and what it means. The biggest financial and emotional backers of the mass killing all over this earth is the United States. And the biggest moral supporters of this are the white people of the United States and Europe. They're also paying for it. But this doesn't matter. They're going to go broke supporting the synagogue of Satan. All things will be finished. Pigs and dogs are everywhere. The American people watch wars on TV. They play video games. They watch movies. But they don't understand the real violence, the cost, the pain, the suffering, and the loss of war. Americans believe they can put war on their credit cards and watch it. It's a game show. They wave their flags and scream how mighty they are. Reality is coming, and it will break these delusional people. The United States has become an ignorant TV show where stupid people fill the audience and watch as other stupid people tell lies and embarrass themselves. And the people clap like trained seals. People clap for evil. They clap for stupidity. They clap when they see the United States and Israel killing women and children. The clapping won't last much longer. It's hard to clap and wave the flag when you can't eat and you don't have water and you don't have a place to go. It's hard to clap. Pigs and dogs are what we're talking about today. So, in the United States, we have a wild pig epidemic. They're dangerous and they spread. They run together and they will attack both man and animals. They destroy crops and the land. They cannot be controlled. They're wild pigs. In these last days, we also have a wild pig epidemic in the form of men and women. They're wild, without God's Spirit, and they can be dangerous. You can walk this earth looking for the truth, only to end up lost in the valley and wander for all your days, never knowing the truth of this life. Yet, there are mountain peaks of our Father, and on these mountain peaks is where Jesus meets you in spirit, and he guides you in the truth for all your life. Now I come to it. And we'll sit on the mountaintop today, and we'll share the truth and nothing else. For our Father is the truth, and he gave us Jesus, and Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And if you don't live for the Father, and he gave you Jesus, you're nothing but a wild pig and a dog. Many people do just as wild pigs. They will wallow and roll in their own waste. That's what people do. That's what pigs do. Now, one of the hardest things that we must face is that there comes a point in your life when you realize that you have to accept something. It's hard that you love and have loved people and your family, your friends, could be your mom, your dad, even your own child, and you realize they're not like me. This can be hard, and for some it causes great pain to know and see their spouses and children and even their parents are the complete opposite of what they are and what they believe. They are the opposite because they do not know Jesus, and if you know Jesus, you're going to follow Jesus. You will hear Jesus' voice, John chapter 10. In fact, most of them will readily deny and even mock Jesus. Some believe they have the truth, and they look at us and say we are crazy for our beliefs. Now, as we see things unfolding right before our eyes, one of the things we see taking place is the change in behavior of those that we know and or used to know. Because what happens in your life, Jesus will pull you away from people. Sometimes your own family, pull you away. Imagine how hard it must be for a woman to know her husband does not and is not going to live for Jesus. And or imagine the dad knowing that his son, imagine a 55-year-old dad. He's got a 35-year-old son. The dad lives for Jesus Christ. The son mocks, denies, and even professes love for what's evil. Now, the scenarios can be different, but the theme is all the same. The people we know and used to know do not walk the same path as us. Sometimes we love our families and friends so much that we believe in error that we can convert them and make them see the light. This is a great falsehood. God teaches just the opposite. Jesus teaches just the opposite. Churches and misguided preachers throughout mankind, throughout history, have taught this. But as I said, it's the opposite of what God teaches. Wild animals can hurt you. They can cause great pain in your life. Yet, like so many times in God's children's lives, they must learn lessons the hard way. Jesus gave commands. His every word and teaching is a command for us to do this and do not do this. Every word Jesus said was for a reason. Every word that Jesus said that we have was recorded for us, because that's who the Bible's for, us. It's not for the wild pigs and dogs. It's for you and me. Jesus told you and me to avoid these people. He says they can hurt you. There are religions and beliefs all over this earth that are contrary to Jesus. And Jesus said, if anybody comes to you and doesn't bring my teachings, don't even tell them God bless. Jesus calls people that are not of him wild pigs and dogs. And a wild boar can hurt you. It can kill you. It can get you on the ground. It can gore you to death. He tells us, if it's not planted by my Father, which is our Father, it shall be rooted up. He says we will know them by their fruits. They produce rotten fruit because they are not of our Father. They do not now, nor will they ever, follow and love Jesus. A big moment comes when you understand that you are not like others. And you embrace it. For it feels good for me to know that I'm not like others. I don't want to be like others. You embrace that because it's more valuable than all the gold in this earth. Jesus told us that we, you and I, should not give our pearls. And what is a pearl? It's precious. It's rare. It's the truth. He said, don't give your pearls. Don't cast your pearls before pigs, and do not give that which is holy unto the dogs. Let's read Matthew 7:6, and let's remember these words as we go forward, for in these last days, it's going to be important for you to stay away from wild pigs and dogs. And let's do as Jesus instructed us. Matthew 7:6, the words of Jesus Christ. Give not that which is holy. Where does something holy come from? It comes from God. Give not that which is from God unto dogs. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you, which means gore you, take their tusk to you. Jesus never shied away from the truth because he was and is the truth personified. He tells us what they are and how to deal with them. He does not tell us to convert them or befriend them. In fact, he tells us to avoid sharing the truth that we have with them. Why would God Almighty give you the truth of he and his glorious Son and then say, I want you to go share it with people that are completely evil and the opposite of what I am? Because you're never going to change them. If you do, they will try to use it to harm you. He says the pigs would turn and rend you, which means they will take their tusk and gore you. They will try to harm you. These people are not called to the truth. It matters not the times. You've no business not obeying your king. Stay away from wild animals. And at no other time in history is it more relevant than right now. Those that are not given pearls, those that do not have the truth of the Father and Jesus, stay away from them. It's okay to give a high. It's okay to do that and never deny Jesus, but it's one thing to deny Jesus. It's another thing to don't go out and try to preach what Jesus Christ has given you, knowing that Jesus has commanded you, look, I don't want you to be around pigs and dogs. Matthew 22:14 says, for many are called, but few are chosen. Few. There is almost 10 billion people on this earth. That's a lot of people. And almost all of them deny the one true Father and his Son and his image in Jesus. Really think on that for a moment and then to think about the verse. Many are called, but few are chosen. Out of 10 billion people, 10 billion. Man, there ain't but a handful that are of the truth, that really love the Father and his Son, Jesus. And Jesus came from where? The Father. There are people who mock, degrade, and lie and believe lies about the Father and Jesus nonstop, 24/7. It doesn't end. Now let me read something else to you before we close that Jesus said about no man can come to the truth unless it's given by the Father. See, you're not going to bring these pigs and dogs to the truth because you can't. John chapter 6, verses 44 and 65, the words of Jesus. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him. So let me say it again. No man can come to me Talking about Jesus. He says, no man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draws him, and I will raise him up at the last day. 65. And he said, therefore I said unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. So who brings us to Jesus? The Father. You can preach till you're blue in the face to a pig and a dog. It don't mean nothing except it's going to get you hurt. Because we were commanded to stay away from them. Matthew chapter 13. Think about this now. This is the words of Jesus, and this is talking about the parable of the wheat and the tares, but think about what he's saying here, man. How powerful this is when we talk about the Word of God. Why some people mock it, laugh at it, deny it, say it's not true, it's half written, there's lost, it's this, it's that. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom, but to them it is not given. Again, Matthew chapter 13, verses 10 and 11, Jesus saying, the Holy Bible is not for them. The Bible is not for everyone. It is for those who are called and belong to the Father. Why would those who hate and deny God the Father and Jesus understand the holy words of our Father? It was not written for them. It was written for you and me. I'll say it again. Remember this truth. If the words of God the Father and Jesus who came to do the will of our Father, if their words are not for these people, why would you ever believe your words and your knowledge that God has given you would ever be for these people? Again, you never deny Jesus under any circumstances, but you don't preach to pigs and dogs. During these days of dissent and tribulations, you will see the masses divided and firmly entrenched in their camps. However, both camps, left, right, black, white, red, blue, it doesn't matter, man. Both camps are without the Son of God, Jesus. All of them are pigs and dogs. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Left or right, both are wings of the same evil bird. Fear not, good people. This is your Father's will being done. These things must come to pass, and they will. Matthew chapter 15, we're going to go ahead and close now. I want you to listen to the words of Jesus Christ again. Matthew chapter 15, verses 13 and 14. Jesus said, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Now, when you root something up, it means what? You don't want it to come back. It's done. They're not of God. Let them alone. And again, Jesus is giving you a commandment. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Now we close, and we're going to read when Jesus talks about these corrupt trees and preparing. Matthew chapter 7, verses 17 through 20. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Look at what he just said. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. They can't produce good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them, by their behavior, what they produce. And I'm not talking about money. Their behavior, their love for God, their love for Jesus. These people never seek the Father, Jehovah Father, for guidance. They don't follow Jesus. They don't love Jesus. They follow men. They seek liars and snake oil salesmen. Life is about Jesus, not the state of Israel, not the Jewish people, not governments, not preachers, not pastors, not professors, not new agers at Google and all the rest. It's not about the Pope. It's not about your neighbor. It's not about anything. It's about Jesus. Everything has to start with Jesus. And you will not hear any of these devils, or even the regular people now, speak the name Jesus. We must prepare for what's coming. We must seek our Father's love, guidance, protection, and seek His face. We prepare through our Father, and he said, you come to me through my Son, Jesus, or you don't come at all. We must pray. Remember, prayer, prayer. That's how you prepare. It's prayer. Everything has to start with prayer. Remember, the most greatest, the most powerful tool you have is free, and it's worth more than everything. It's called prayer. You go to your Father in Jesus' name and you ask for help. You lay it at their feet and you ask for help. We do everything in the name of the most beautiful and powerful name in heaven and in earth. And there's only one. It's 5 letters. His name is Jesus and no other. I thank you for being here with me today.